This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. The Art of EQ by Thomas Juth. Preface: The Art of Mixing ebook series. What began as a small project in 2015 has grown into a 5-part series I'm really proud of. Each book in this series explores a key aspect of mixing, from learning how to think differently about mixing to mastering important tools like compression and EQ, and even building a career as a mix engineer. These books aren't just technical guides, they're about mixing as an art, something creative and exciting. I wrote my first ebook, The Art of Compression, when I was living in London, running my own studio, Elephant Lane. At the time, my career was going great, but I felt an increasing urge to share what I'd learned from working with Grammy-winning producer Martin Tariff, as well as many talented artists and songwriters. Teaching became something I genuinely loved. Over the next few years, I released more books, each focusing on a different mixing skill: the art of EQ, the art of creating depth, and mixing philosophy. Later, I added Mixing Ambition, a book about turning mixing into a career. Recently, I also added The Art of Learning to Mix, which is the perfect starting point for beginners. Each book works well on its own, but together they give you the whole picture of what mixing is really about. If you're serious about mixing, either as a career or just for fun, these books give you the practical tips and the mindset you'll need to improve your craft. A quick note about myself: I've been mixing music professionally for over 20 years, and I've been lucky to work with some incredible artists, including Paul McCartney, Cat Stevens, Aha, and Jason Mraz. But more than any award or recognition, what really matters to me is the emotional impact of music. This passion drives everything I do: mixing, teaching, and writing. The Art of Mixing series is my way of sharing what I've learned, not just the technical skills, but how to think differently, trust your instincts, and see mixing as something creative and fun. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Let's dive into the art of mixing. Warm regards, Thomas Juth. Introduction. Do you ever find yourself a bit lost when working with EQs, wondering if you are using the right approach or missing some important steps or knowledge? Do you sometimes feel that your mixes don't come out sounding as open and smooth as you would like? Perhaps there are situations where you normally use an EQ, but another method would have given even better results. This guide aims to give clarity to the art of equalization, introduce some advanced concepts, and share some useful tips and secrets. However, this book also aims to be easy to read and present complex subjects in a very simple and straightforward manner. That said, the reader is expected to know at least the basics of equalization and understand what an EQ does. I will also share my own personal views and try to explain how I think before and while applying EQ. By doing so, I hope to help you feel more confident when working on future mixes. Chapter 1. Things to keep in mind before reaching for an EQ. Always ask yourself these questions. Just as with compression or any other type of audio processing, one should never reach for an equalizer without having a vision or a clear reason for it. In fact, one of the most important questions you could ever ask yourself while mixing is, what does this song/sound/recording need in order to sound better? If the answer is nothing, it already sounds amazing, and you decide to leave it untouched, then you have come a long way as an engineer. Sometimes, the best EQ decision is making no adjustment at all. Whether I am working with subtractive equalization, dipping frequencies, or additive equalization, boosting frequencies, I will always ask myself a set of questions before applying any type of EQ, in the same way as described in The Art of Compression. This will help me decide what action to take, if anything is needed. Having said that, to answer these questions, One must first have a clear vision of how the mix.
Para seguir escuchando este audiolibro gratuitamente, haz clic en el enlace de la descripción y podrás escucharlo completo sin coste gracias a la prueba de 30 días de Audible.